Hello and welcome to week 4, where we're going to be looking at our state court system. You just did the federal court system, and now we're going to go in our state court system. In this particular session, I'm going to be really concentrating on the Massachusetts courts, some of the good things and some of the things that we probably need to be changed. Just start off this lesson, I was going to really rely a lot on some of the things from the Massachusetts Supreme Justice Ralph Gantz. Unfortunately, Mr. Gantz passed away on Monday from complications from a heart attack. However, I'm still going to have you look at an interview that he did several years ago to just get a feeling as to how he viewed the courts and people. It's been a devastating thing for the people of the Commonwealth. It's also going to be a challenge for Governor Baker to reappoint another Chief Justice with the sincerity and ethical and moral being that Chief Justice Gantz had. He was a respected jurist throughout the country. Harvard Law, the first Jewish Chief Justice that we had here in Massachusetts. I just want to quote a little bit about him by Rachel Cohen that was in the Boston Globe regarding Chief Justice Gantz. And it says, she says, Ralph Gantz repaired the world. Justice shall pursue were words from the Torah often quoted and not nearly as often taken to heart. Ralph Gant took these to heart. I leave it for his fellow jurists and legal scholars to analyze the body of work the late Chief Justice of the Supreme Court leaves behind. I know only this. Justice Gantz was a mensch, one of the good guys who throughout his career lived his faith, seeking in his own way to follow the Jewish tradition of tikkun olam, to repair the world, or at least a small piece of it. He put it in his first State of the Judiciary address in 2015. In our courts, we seek to repair the world, sometimes to save the world, one person at a time. What that means is that our courts will step up to the plate and seek to address the challenging problems that come before us. And during his 5 years as Chief Justice, that's exactly what he did. One thing that happened and just released, he got the Harvard School to report on racial discrimination in the state's criminal justice system. And this was long before George Floyd killing in May that brought thousands of people to the streets. Today, it serves as a fitting bookend to a career spent making life in the Commonwealth a little more fair and a little more just for those caught up in the system. Grant was in many ways the perfect leader during these past turbulent months as he guided the courts through twin pandemics of deadly coronavirus and institutional racism. When the pandemic shut down the courts, the jury trials were halted. He worked to not endanger those things. He worked with the 99 courthouses on a daily basis, and he wanted justice to prevail. Even though he stated as saying, "We know many are being hurt. Defendants in custody awaiting trial, crime victims awaiting closure to their ordeal, children in limbo awaiting custody or adoption decisions, and we know what we must do what we can to limit their pain." And so he started to use Zoom and audio conferencing, getting the courts to respond to people, looking at the situation with bail and getting people out so they're not held without getting true justice. He was dealing with the elections and also with why the criminal justice system too often fails the African Americans and be able to look at making justice more fair for everybody. And so, as Ms. Cohen says, this must be a time not for reflection but for action. And Chief Justice Gantz was doing that. And so we're looking at those types of things there. And that's one of the reasons why I want you to watch his interview with Jim Braude, because he kind of sets that tone there. The other thing that we're going to look at is that in Massachusetts we have a very unusual situation when people are appointed to either be a judge in our Massachusetts courts or a clerk of courts is that it all goes through the Massachusetts Governor's Council. We're the only state in the nation that has a Governor's Council, and it can be very political. And as a result of that, I'm going to have you look into the Governor's Council and just see what they do, what their job is, and how they affect our court system. As part of that, we're also going to look at a Globe Spotlight article that shows what a clerk magistrate does in a court. Oftentimes we think of the court as just the judge finding a person guilty or not guilty, or fault or not fault. But in this particular article, I think you're going to, raise a few eyebrows if you don't already know about it. The power that a clerk of court has, and one of the things that happens with that is a clerk of courts doesn't have to be a lawyer, doesn't have to have a college degree, can be a high school graduate. They're appointed by the Governor's Council on the recommendation of the governor, and they get into a job that pays around $150,000 a year. There's no age limit for retirement, so they can stay as long as they want. Unlike our Massachusetts judges, is that a judge in Massachusetts has to retire at the age of 70. And so I'm going to have you reflect on those and see what we can do, or what you would think we could do to make things a little bit more a level playing field, and also how justice is meted out here in Massachusetts. But I just want us also to look at our system here, and this is our Massachusetts trial court system, and we can see here, I've also posted one of those in your module that you can see there, is that down at the bottom of that chart we have our district courts, our juvenile courts, and our probate and family courts. Here in Essex County, where most of us are, is our district court, is the Salem District Court that handles Salem, Beverly, and Danvers. And we have over in Peabody, we have the Peabody District Court, which handles Peabody and Lynnfield. We have the Lynn District Court, which will take Lynn, Nahant, Swampscott, Marblehead. They all go over there. We go up into the area of Newburyport. We have Newburyport District Court, which handles Amesbury, Newburyport, Rowley, Byfield, all those types of cities and towns there. So it goes by here in Essex County. We have Lawrence District Court, which handles that area up there. And so our district court here in Salem is right in downtown Salem in the brand new courthouse. We also have a juvenile court here in Essex County, the juvenile court. We have one in Lynn, one in down in Salem that is separate from the court facility. It's over in the Salem Point area. There also the probate and family court that's located at the Ruane Justice Center at the new courthouse. When we move up into the next level of courts, we have our superior courts, land courts, housing courts, and Boston Municipal Court, the big court at downtown Boston, right at Government Center. Our superior courts here in Essex County, we have a superior court in Salem at the Ruane Justice Center in downtown Salem. We have a superior court in Essex County. We have one in Lawrence. We have one in Newburyport. The Superior Court in Newburyport is the oldest continuous running courthouse in the country. It's right on the main street going into downtown Newburyport. It's a wonderful old brick building. I've been there many times testifying and all those types of things that go on there, but it's an interesting history and all that. Part of our court system, we also have probation and jury commissioners. We look at those types of things. We have a person at the executive officer of the trial court. Just like our federal court system, if somebody doesn't like what happens in our district courts or superior courts, it can be appealed to the Massachusetts Appeals Court. And so those are heard in Boston and those types of things there. And again, when someone wants to go on beyond that and doesn't feel that they've got the justice that they wanted from the Massachusetts Appeals Court, then we go to the Supreme Judicial Court. Supreme Judicial Court consists of 1 Chief Justice and 6 Associate Justices. And this is another thing that's going to be really impacted by the passing of Chief Justice Gantz, is because Governor Baker is going to now have the opportunity to appoint a Chief Justice. It can come from one of the 6 Associate Justices that are sitting there, but also he can appoint from any other legal person that he may want to put in there. Prior to Chief Justice Gantz passing, there was a movement to have more diversity on the Supreme Judicial Court. We only have 1 female of color on the court, and another female justice is going to retire. And so it's left with all men, all white men. And so Governor Baker is going to have a challenge to realign that. He's also going to be one of the only governors to have appointed all 7 justices to the Massachusetts Supreme Court during his tenure. So that's a little summary of that. Also included a couple of videos, summaries of our Massachusetts court system, and a video that's going to go along with the Boston Globe spotlight thing on the what we call secret courts, the courts that are handled with the clerk magistrates. So I hope you're going to take and put some thought into the questions that I'm going to be putting to you regarding the state courts, and in particular our Massachusetts courts, and we'll take it from there. And that'll be our lesson for week 4. So I just hope everybody's doing okay. Again, anybody needs any assistance, or anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact me or call me. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me. Anything that I can do for you during this time to make a little bit better understanding as to what was going on and how we're going to do it. So take care and have a good week. We'll see you.